Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Real Talk with me, Joe, and there, Cody.
Hey,
And
hey.
if you haven't noticed, he's got a little different background because he's
Yes.
taking care of some sick kiddos.
Got some sickos. Yep. So it's just a matter of when does it get to me and everybody else. So my wife got it
I
night
hate
one, and
that you're
then
going through it.
I know our daughter,
I hate that they're all
like,
going through it, but it's like the worst knowing that you're gonna get it. When your whole
it
family gets
is.
it, the odds are not in your favor.
They're not. And
No.
yeah, and, like, I don't know what's better because we've had different versions where it's like it just slowly works its way through
Yeah.
everyone. And then other times where it's like we all get it at the same time,
Yeah.
which I'd almost prefer that to where
I
everybody just
know.
gets
Just
hit.
knock it out and be
Yeah.
done. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully they get better soon.
Yeah. Thank you.
And maybe you'll get through it, you know? Maybe you won't. Maybe you won't. Take
As
your
long as I
take your
don't take my medicine,
take your vitamins, as your
take my
wife would say.
vitamins,
Take your aloe and your all that stuff. Yes.
staying hydrated. Have
Good.
you ever had
With
this
some joy
stuff?
bursts. No, I haven't had it.
We get it from Costco. It's like vitamin water
Oh, is it?
stuff, but it's like electrolytes and
Okay.
vitamins and stuff. I like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll have to look into it. I think we're gonna do a Costco trip in the next day or two. Do some Christmas shopping and different things like that. So,
But yeah.
which I need to do because it is a long ways out, or a short ways out. We only have
It
3 weeks.
I know.
It's
It
crazy.
feels like it's still a long ways away because we just got into
Yeah.
December, but it goes so
Yeah.
quick.
Before we get into anything real estate related, I just saw this email. Not that anyone cares. Our hosting site for our podcast is asking. They said they'll pay for our ticket to Podfest 2026. I haven't even read into it.
Podfest, huh?
Yeah, where we can hang out with podcasters and
Really?
learn tips and tricks of
That's
the
kind of cool.
trade.
Where's that
It's
at?
if you want to go with me, it's January 15th to the 18th in
Okay.
Orlando, SeaWorld Orlando.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
Wow.
casters like hang out. What is it? It's spark new ideas, sharpen your skills, and connect with creators who have been in your shoes.
Interesting. Okay.
I just got the email, man. I don't know. We're hitting it
Wow.
big when we're getting
Yeah. Yeah, so just to clarify, are they wanting us to do the speaking and teaching
Yeah.
probably? Okay, that's what I
I
figured.
think guest
Yeah.
speakers. I think
Yeah.
guest speakers is like what they're looking for. They'll pay our
Right.
way over there. That's how big we are.
Yeah, that
Um,
sounds about right.
Question for December in the real estate world. What are you suggesting? It's technically slowing down. I don't
Mhm.
personally, for a lot of sellers, suggest that they list their house in these 3 weeks. I think that people are hunkering down.
Mhm.
Buyers are looking though. Like buyers are definitely out there. But what are you suggesting to buyers? Like for the new year, kind of some tips that they need to, because most people come in half cocked, like, and just like, hey, I come in January, February, and like, what do I do?
Yeah.
And what do you, in your expert opinion, suggest people start doing now so that they can be ready to go
Mm,
for that? And I have another note on that, so remind me about spring. Just say spring and selling
perfect.
and buying.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. I mean, it's always something that we're like, you get to the end of the year and you have your New Year's resolution. So a lot of times people, it tends to be, I want to buy a house this next year. So what I'll usually work on them with them on is getting their documents in order, because you get some people that are like they know where every document is, and then the other version of those people is they don't know where anything is. Like they don't need to keep their pay stubs, they don't really need to keep their W-2s. They file their taxes, but they don't know where they are. So it's like really a lot of the prep of, can we start locating some of these documents? If you're self-employed, this is a big one, because now that we're entering in a new year, now it's really starting to prep. Like maybe we need to start focusing on what your taxes need to look like. Since you're going to be filing here in the next couple months, let's start to figure out what do we need to do to make your numbers look right. So but I also do the same thing with credit, where some people just don't know. And so connecting them with Credit Karma or, Capital One, whatever it is, there's a lot of free monitoring sites out there to just like, let's just see what's even on your credit. Like if you're not ready to do this for a year or however long, like let's start to get you connected with some of these options to where you can start actually monitoring where your scores are, what's on your report. Um, so it's a lot of just prep work, collecting
Yeah.
documents, knowing where things are at, knowing their numbers, so that it's not so overwhelming going into it to where you feel like you don't have a clue of anything. Um,
Yeah.
but I would say that the most prepping that tends to happen is usually with self-employed individuals because it's a new year. It's now like, how do we need to file these? What do these need to look like? Because we've been writing off everything and we want to buy a house. So let's figure out what we need that to look like. So
Yeah.
mostly self-employment tax related prep that I'm not a CPA, but I can help them to
Yeah.
understand more of like
Where
having
you
those
need your money to be. Yeah.
having those
Where you
conversations with your CPA or your accountant to show, hey, we want to buy a house. So let's try to strategize on how we can still use write-offs, but maybe use the right ones instead of
Mhm.
just the generic, like, oh, let's just call it this. And then it ends up hurting you in the mortgage process.
I know. Like, even as you're saying it, I'm like, we're not in the market, like, right now,
Hmm.
but we'll be one of those we'll be one of those buyers that are gonna come to you and be like, "Hey, we wanna buy." And you'll be like, "What's your taxes look like?" We wrote off everything, so it shows we make, like, $5,000 a year.
Yeah,
So what can I afford? So why can't I get $1,000,000 home, Cody?
right. You'd be a prime candidate for a bank statement loan.
Oh, man, I know. It's like that for self-employed people, like, it's
It's
yeah.
tough.
It's intimidating to go through, because you're just like, "Okay, I don't want to not write off things. I don't want to not,
Yeah.
do this for 2 years or whatever it takes," and then it's like, ugh, like,
Yeah.
but you eventually like, when you own a house as a self-employed person, it's like a long-term thing. It's not like you can just be like, "Hey, let me write this off for the next month, and then I can buy a
Yeah.
home." It's like
Right.
you've gotta show a steady history of that, and
Hmm.
we're in that talk right now of, like,
Yeah.
how do we get prepared so that when something pops up, it's like we're not like, "Well, in 2 years, you can do it,"
Right.
because of how
Yeah.
you've been writing off your taxes, so
Hmm.
yeah,
It
I'm
is. It's
telling
a sacrifice.
I think buyers that are leading, I didn't forget about spring and summer. I think for buyers that are buying now, it's a great time to buy. I think people are out there, sellers that are out there need to sell. That
Hmm.
you can get a lot of advantage as a buyer out there right now. If you're prepping to buy in spring, just note this is just anecdotal, and this is from colleagues and things like that. That a lot of people have pulled their homes off the market during this winter and are planning on relisting in September or in the spring. So.
Okay.
Um, which would give you more options, but it's gonna give you more competition. So, I think, like, if you're a buyer being prepped early, like, that's what I would advise buyers that are like, "Hey, we're looking in spring." I would say, "Let's get you going now." Like, just
Hmm.
at least pre-approved, like you said, get yourself set up so that maybe in February, you may were looking in spring, but February, you're still finding a home versus, like, being one amongst many in the springtime.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts for the day.
Yeah. Well, and it feels to me like there's more and more momentum. We haven't really seen the big jumps happen yet as far as or dips for rates. But there is more and more momentum being built up behind the scenes
For
that
sure.
feels like we're going to be starting to cruise down that path because it was just a couple weeks ago where a December Fed rate cut was looking like probably wasn't going to happen. I mean,
Yeah.
we saw the in November, they dropped rates and they spiked because of what was said in the commentary. And so it was like, oh, maybe December's off the table. Now it's like becoming an all but guaranteed thing. There was a lot of economic data that came out again today showing that the employment side of the economy is really weakening a lot more. Um, New Fed chairman coming in here in a couple more months. A lot more is
Yeah.
being put on rates, and I saw something the other day just talking about the amount of money that the government spends just in interest on their money that would be a good enough reason to want to start lowering rates a little bit quicker. So I think there's just enough stuff that's building up that to tie into your point of spring, things might be busier. That's still another 3 or 4 months away, and who knows what could happen with rates? Because if we drop another 0.5%, I got to imagine that it's gonna start to get a lot busier because now we're talking about instead of low sixes, high fives, we're talking about mid fives, people buying down to the low fives,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's not far off of just probably very normal market moving forward. So
Yeah.
could
Yeah,
get
I'm
a
seeing
little
the same
crazy.
thing, and I think, like, it's just, now is the time, we've told this before, now is the time to buy low, like,
Hmm.
because when you start seeing an influx of buyers, if the rates get down to that mid 5s and then they could buy down to even in the 4, whatever, um, it's gonna be it's gonna be a competition for buyers, um, so I would say get prepped now, buyers. I know you're looking for spring and the nice flowers and the nice homes and stuff like that, but you don't wanna be the ones competing and then ending up, like, competing with other buyers out there, in my opinion. Yeah, we've even had sellers the same thing as sellers have pulled off the market for these next few months, and they're gonna put it back on, so and we've heard from our colleagues the same thing, so I do think we're gonna see an influx of homes, especially if rates go down and people are seeing that the market is picking up for buyers, and sellers are gonna start coming in that have the 3-4% rates and are like, "Eh, it's not too far off." What we're seeing is crazy, like, the construction and obviously it's the end of the year, new construction's offering, like, everything. Like, they're giving you credits, they're giving you everything, so, yeah, it's crazy, it's crazy. So, anyways, yeah, just, thoughts. Wanted your thoughts. We'll probably talk about it a little bit on the podcast, our next podcast, but just kind of thoughts on kinda winter prep for sellers and buyers and what they need to be doing to kind of get ready. Whether that's spring, your goals are your goals, but I think, like, there's a lot of opportunity in the winters for, the winter time for buyers, and sellers, if you think about it, so. Mhm. Yeah, and once it hits, you wanna be going. You wanna be ready to go. If they follow us on any social media or YouTube or follow our podcast, they're probably already up to date and they're ready to go. And so they're gonna be up ahead of every other buyer and seller out there. If you're not, well, sucks. Sucks to suck, as my nephew would say. Okay, man. Well, you've got some sick people to tend to, so I'm not gonna keep you any longer. Yeah, we'll, see if we can get a podcast going unless you're sick. We'll just see how dedicated you are, to be honest. Like, if you're not dedicated, we're gonna find that out when the people don't get their podcast this week. Just lay, like, in a hospital bed. We'll just put a camera just looking over you, and I'll just talk you to sleep. I'll talk you to sleep. Okay, it's getting weird. Okay, well, yeah, we'll chat with you soon, man. Yeah, see ya.